Morning, everyone.
Morning.
We're grateful and thankful to have this opportunity to be here. It's always great to see everyone. It's always great to see another day. We're certainly thankful for that opportunity that we've been given by grace and mercy. So with that being said, I am calling the meeting to order. And at this time, I'd like to call on Pastor Rich Wright of Trinity United Methodist Church to lead us with the invocation that we can stand and remain standing. And Councilman Baker will lead us with the pledge.
Let us pray. Almighty gracious God of all people, thank you so much for your past blessings. And we thank you for the future blessings that you will impart upon our city. For today's important meeting, help our council to experience your divine presence and gain holy wisdom for their work. Empower them to make proper decisions that will benefit all of the citizens of our city and all of the communities. And gracious God, we ask you to encourage us as citizens of this city to engage in faithful service that promotes peace and compassion. In all that we do, may we glorify you as we share your love with others, as you bless our city and bless our council. And it's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
We place flag, please. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Wright. Appreciate it. Thanks. And thank you, Councilman Bailey, for the pledge. At this time, Council, I'd like to call on our HR Director, Stephanie Chastain, as well as Elijah, and our City Manager, Wallace Hunter. This is something that was started years ago by our City Manager, and it's one of the greatest things we can do because we are saying sincerely thank you to people who put their time in, and we're grateful for what they do for this city and this community. So with that, Elijah, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're proud to recognize and celebrate the dedication and commitment of our employees who reached a significant service milestone this year. To these employees, your continued contributions are the foundation of our success, and we sincerely thank you for your hard work and your loyalty. So first, with the police department, Captain Donnie Thomas, with 20 years of service. Unfortunately, he's unable to be with us today, but we'll make sure that the police department forwards his certificate and pin to him. Then last but not least, with the Engineering Public Works Department, Ms. Angel Moore with 20 years of service.
All right, Angel. 20 years. 20 years.
My family's with me.
All right. That's right. Don't apologize for that.
So the little one is Lucy, and the older one is Olivia, and then my husband Russell.
Angel. Speak, Angel. Thank you.
Y'all hear me talk all the
I
time?
can't.
Whatever you gotta say, please. Say something now, you can explain something later tomorrow.
You got that
I
right.
don't even think I'm really on the agenda today, which is great. But no, I mean, thank y'all to my family. Thank y'all, Mr. Hunter, being inside, we fuss, we fight, we get back, we come back together, he's taught me so much, I've been able to do this, know as much as I do without Mr. Hunter. My children hear me every day, and my husband about, when I come home, this, that happened. So,
Thank you, Angel. Thank you so much, and let Officer Thomas know also that we appreciate him and thank him. And I know a lot of y'all have heard me say this, and we'll continue to say it at some point and at the correct time. The most two powerful words that you can say when it's done sincerely and wholehearted, when you're not looking for anything in return, is thank you. So thank you, Angel, and let Officer Thomas know we appreciate and thank him also. Thank you. Proceeding on at this time, Council. Under the City Clerk. At this time, I'd like to ask the Council for approval of the regular scheduled meeting minutes, and we will take these separately. Council, I'd like to ask for a motion for the approval of the June 16, 2025 work session.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilman Day. May I have a second? Second, Councilman Bailey. Okay, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on now, Council, at this time, I'd like to ask the Council for a motion for the approval of the June 17, 2025 council meeting.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Green. May I have a second? Second, Councilman Bailey. Okay, we have the motion, we have the second. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, Council, at this time, are there any unfinished business that the Council would like to discuss or think we need to discuss? Okay. If not any, proceeding on with the resolutions and on the administration.
We're supposed to utility.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I got it
Speak
written
on
down
that.
here. Thank you. Thank you all. At this time, it's not on the agenda, but we want to have a point of privilege to be able to have some of our utilities directors come up and explain some of the situation that we're taking as far as an overhaul of way we're doing things and some of the leaks that we've had.
Okay, Mayor and Council, what I've actually, Assistant City Manager Chan Gamble and John Spraggins, our utility director, to do today is our utility department belongs to our citizens. Our citizens need an explanation in what we're doing throughout the city with utilities and dealing with every aspect of the utility department. That's the water filtration plant, wastewater plant, our field operations, and our administrative offices. We're going through an overhaul of our utilities from decades and decades of times that you have to do maintenance on it and change it. All you hear on the news these days is throughout the United States is infrastructure problems that we're changing it. That's what we're dealing with the utility department, or you're dealing with the storm system, which our engineering department, that they handle. So what I want them to do is introduce you all to a new team of personnel. We've had to make a lot of changes culturally throughout that system and utilities, and I want our citizens to be able to follow what we're doing. And we plan to do this on our website also if we make changes throughout our system. So Mr. Gamble is going to come forward and he's going to go through some things, and not only that, we're going to give you all some information on what we have to do throughout this entire city over the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Next week will be my second anniversary as assistant city manager here, and to say that the majority of my time has been devoted to the utilities department would be an understatement. But it's been a great opportunity, a great project, and I'm very excited about it. I know that we often we get complaints about utilities, whether it's water leaks, whether it's sanitary sewer overflow, whether it's something at the wastewater treatment plant. I know that y'all get hundreds of calls, complaints about all these things. And I wanted to take the opportunity to update you on what we're doing to address all those issues. And the very first thing that we had to do was, as Mr. Hunter mentioned, was change the culture of the utilities department. And to do that, there had to be some major personnel changes within the department. Those changes have caused some bumps in the road, some hiccups. It's not easy to find and replace operators and directors and superintendents. It's not easy to find quality people, not only smart, intelligent, qualified, but also folks of character. And so I believe we are on the right path of that. So I want to start by introducing these people who are now working very diligently, hard, and often long hours to improve our system. So, as y'all know, Mr. John Spraggins, he's our utilities director, our utilities engineer. Y'all known him for a long time. And
Bag man.
John is a qualified utilities engineer, a professional engineer, but he's also an excellent department director. And you will not find anybody with more dedication to their job and to the mission of the utilities department and overall in changing and improving and looking to the future than Mr. Spraggins. And I've come to know John very well over the last 2 years, and it's been an enormous amount of time together. And I tell you, he's a man of integrity, and he has a vision for the department that I think this council should be proud of. Next person I'll introduce is Miss Elizabeth Lane. Miss Lane started a few months before I did in the utilities department. She is the office manager and is in charge of the administration division of the department. The administration is billing, customer service, and she also manages and supervises our metering division, if you want to call it, meter tech supervisors. I think to say that we've had a culture change in the administration is I think an understatement. We've made almost a complete change of personnel. We've turned over every rock. We've opened every book. We found where the issues were in not only just billing, but in metering. And she works very tirelessly. She's a front-facing person to the public. It's a very difficult job. As you can imagine, if you think that if you get a lot of complaints, imagine what her role was like. Ms. Lane's very respectful and courteous to all of our customers, even when they are not to her. And so we really appreciate that. Ms. Lane will be overseeing, we're about to switch to billing systems, so she's got a big project ahead. With our switch over to matrix billing, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but our new metering project, our new AMI system is going to put a lot of stress on her and her division when we go through this difficult transition from our AMR meter system to our AMI. Next person I'd like to introduce is Mr. Norris Williams. Mr. Williams has been with the city for almost 20 years. He is our field superintendent. He's over the water distribution division, the wastewater collection division. This is a tough job as it is. They work long hours, the winter and summer, it doesn't matter. When something breaks, they have to go out and fix it. So he has a difficult job as it is. Not only does he work hard, but Mr. Williams has been faced with really taking the brunt of a labor shortage. That labor shortage is not just Phenix City. That labor shortage in the utilities industry is nationwide. And it's made it very difficult for him and the city to keep up. But they do a tremendous job. They do a lot of work that goes unseen, happens in places that not everybody goes, and they do the necessary work to get the water to your house and the sewage away from it. And Mr. Williams is doing a great job. I'd like to also introduce J.D. Jackson. J.D. is our superintendent for our wastewater treatment plant. He started in that position towards the beginning of 2024, I guess, March of last year. March 2024. This is another division that's had a complete overhaul of personnel. JD's done an excellent job in really refocusing the crew out there, improving morale, and work ethic And he's doing so at a time, one of the most difficult times that the wastewater treatment plant can endure. It's a complete overhaul, not a complete overhaul, but a very large expansion and overhaul of the wastewater treatment plant. And as y'all know, this expansion and project has caused us some issues with AM. And so he's been put in a very difficult position that he did not create, but he is absolutely the man for the job. We look in the next 2 weeks to get all of our processes back online. We believe that once that happens, we'll begin to see the unlimited discharges go down and hopefully eliminate it completely. So we're very excited, and he should be proud of him to lead this crew. And when I say turn a culture around, again, he has done that. Last but not least, I'd like to introduce our newest member, Mr. Barrett Crane. He is the superintendent for our water filtration plant. He's been with us almost a month. Is that right? And again, this is a man who has voluntarily stepped into a position with a plant that is in need of a lot of overall, a lot of changes, a lot of difficult work, a lot of long hours. And he's volunteered to do that. Barrett is a seasoned operator. He also has been an instructor at the Georgia Wastewater Institute. He's a very capable man, and I believe that he is going to be the person to lead our water filtration plant into the future as we make some significant changes that I'm going to discuss here in just a minute. But as we go along, and I know, like I said, we get a lot of complaints, but I would like for folks to know, I'd like for y'all to know, the citizens to know that we've been working very, very hard to change a lot of things in the utilities department. It's a very large department. It's got a lot of things to maintain and keep up, and a lot of exposure for the city. But I want y'all to be able to put a face to the name and to the resolutions and ordinances that y'all pass and hear. So, and also I want to thank them publicly. All these people put in a tremendous amount of work and time on, at nights and weekends. And I'm just very proud of them. I'm proud to be associated with them. So, thank you very much. And I know I've got work to do. So, Shannon, you got a picture of it. Oh, yeah. Slide. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much.
So, along with people, there are lots of other things that have to be done as well in our utility system. And I just want to take the opportunity to tell you what we have done and what we are going to do, what the scope of the work that is going on is, so that everybody can kind of get an idea of what we're dealing with, not only today, but in the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years down the road. As I mentioned, in the administration department, we're changing over to a matrix billing system. I think it'll make our billing program much more efficient. We're also about to begin a $7.5 million AMI project. This is, you all are well aware of our metering issues that we've had. And we're fortunate to be able to do this project. The first phase should begin third quarter, maybe fourth quarter of this year, the first quarter of next year. That'll replace every meter in the city of Phenix City, the residential meter, commercial meter, every bit of it. It's a project that we believe is not only going to help with the billing inaccuracies that we face with the master meter stuff, but also these meters are cash registers, right? If we're not metering and counting every drop of water that goes out, then we're losing money. So we believe that this more efficient, more accurate metering system will help on the revenue side tremendously as we move forward. The field operations, we all have heard about water leaks, right? And there are water leaks, and we know that we can see them. But this trickle of a water leak has turned into a waterfall of a myth. There are water leaks, we know that. Every city has leaks, you can't avoid it. And sometimes there are places where you can see them, and sometimes there are places where you can't. But just over the past 7 months, not counting our in-house work that our crews have done, we put $1.5 million into fixing water distribution systems and these water leaks. We expect to continue at that pace until we're done. The interesting thing that I'd like to mention to you all is we've seen this proliferation in leaks over the last 2 years. As we looked at that, we started to try to figure out why that might be happening. And so we started looking at maps with the leak locations, and then started looking at some underground permits that we issue and what's going on there. And I'll tell you, we've had a very sharp increase in underground utilities being installed in the city over the last 2 years. When you take maps of water leaks and you overlay it with maps of underground utility installations such as gas, power, fiber optic, mainly, you find a very strong correlation to water leaks, to the installation of underground utilities. I hope to be able to present something to council pretty soon to show you graphically what that looks like. But it's astonishing what's going on. If you just do a quick search on the internet, you'll see this is not the only place where that's happening. It's nationwide. And some cities and utilities have put a moratorium on the installation of underground utilities such as fiber optics for this purpose alone, this cause alone. So while I'm not saying all of the water leaks are due to the installation of underground utilities, we believe there's a strong correlation between the two. We also have in our wastewater collection system a lot of work to do. And we have a system that has between some estimates of 400, but I think the more accurate number is closer to 600 miles of underground sewer. And these vary in age and type, and sometimes are very difficult to perform. The biggest problem we have with our wastewater collection system is what's called I&I, which is inflow and infiltration. So when stormwater gets into our wastewater system, overloads it, and causes leaks in people's out of manholes, or it overloads our wastewater treatment plant and causes unpermitted discharge. As part of the ADM settlement that will be forthcoming, we're going to be required to fix this problem. And this is a major project. So far, we've completed estimates for the engineering and repair of basin number 1. There are 3 basins, basically. And basin number 1 is the oldest portion of Phenix City. And our initial estimates to repair basin 1 is $4.5 million. That's one. This is not going to be an option. This is going to be a requirement. We're going to have to address this issue very soon. Now, this is also not a project that's going to be completed in a year or 2. This is a 5 to 10 year project to fix these problems in the wastewater collection system. We've got the wastewater treatment plant, which I mentioned briefly. We've heard a lot about it. Of course, you know about the AM issues. But like I said, hopefully within 2 weeks we'll be back online with our expansion to 7.75 million gallons per day and the upgrades to our clarifiers. The project alone is $15 million. Now, while we've expanded the capacity of the plant, we've addressed issues with clarifiers. But this plant, more than any of the others, is like a living being. And it needs repair and replacement, knees, hips, shoulders. Sometimes go out and so while we have just spent $15 million there, we look to spend an additional $2 to $3 million over the next several years for improvements in our screening process. That's to prevent things like pipes from getting into the system. And we're also going to have to address some issues with our digesters. That will be in the next few years. And like I said, I believe that to be several $7 million at the plant. The water filtration plant is the last stop in the utilities department of what we're doing. I believe it's the most critical part of the infrastructure in our city. Right? The ability for us to provide very clean, high quality water is essential. And not only do we provide it to the citizens of Phenix City, but we also provide it to other jurisdictions who are incapable of producing water. We provide water to Russell County, we provide water to Fort Mitchell, and they rely on us to supply a certain portion of their drinking water. So we've started an assessment, and y'all have read the resolutions, you passed them over the past 4 to 5 months, and we've got some major projects that are coming down the pipe on this. This is what's called a SCADA system, and that's really the brains of the plant. And SCADA is supervisory control and data acquisition, but it's the pilot, and it helps the operators know how much water is in a tank, how much chemicals being fed into the filter, how the filter levels are. It opens and closes valves. It does a myriad of things that I can really begin to understand. But it's a very complicated system. Ours was last updated, I believe, in 2007. And so it's time to take control of that and get us into the 21st century. With SCADA, we expect that project to be in the $3 million range. We are working right now on the assessment, and we'll have some hard numbers by the fall as to what that's going to be. We're also switching some of our chemical processes. We're going to be switching from soda ash to lime, and we're also going to be switching from chlorine gas to hydrochloride. Those are both safety concerns, safety issues, as to why we would do that. The plant sits in the neighborhood, and we need to make sure that not only our plant operators are in the safest environment that we can give them, we'll make sure that our neighbors are safe as well. So we'll be looking at those processes, switching those over, and then there's many other things that are going to need to be fixed. But the last thing with the water filtration plant, we've discussed this previously, is PFAS and PFAS. And these are the, quote, forever chemicals. And the EPA has set limits as to how much PFAS can be in our water. We're under studies to address these issues, the PFAS issue. Luckily, we're in a fairly good situation. We have water that has relatively low levels of PFAS and PFAS to begin with, and so we think that we're going to be in a better position than some of the folks north of us to deal with this problem. But even at that, the initial estimates, depending on what type of system we go with, are somewhere in the $30 million range. So PFAS, $30 million, all the other things I mentioned to you, approximately $22 million. And that's hard capital costs that we can expect to pay within the next 5 to 10 years. But the good thing is we've got our eyes on all all of these issues, all these problems. I think we're ahead of the game on getting these processes in place before they come to a point of failure. But it is something that I think the council and the citizens should be aware of. This stuff takes continued maintenance, upgrading, and repair. And I just wanted to make the council aware of that, answer any questions y'all might have about it. But let you know that the utilities department is working very hard. We have some very capable, qualified people in charge, and we're in a very positive position as we move forward. So, unless you have any questions, I'll.
Well, you spoke about the amount, the cost of the project, that, the improvement of these plants. It's gonna be done in phases, different phases.
Well, yeah, even if we had all the money sitting here, right in front of us, on this podium, so these are long-term projects, Mr. Day, and engineering alone for some of these things can take a year. That's before you can put boots on the ground. So yes, this is gonna be done in many phases over a long period of time.
Let me ask you another question. I know it's on 20th Avenue, if I got what I did. I noticed they repaired the leak there, and that leak coming from the same area they repaired. Water that are leaking pretty bad there. They have ready to repair maybe a couple of weeks back, and they start beginning to leak again.
Okay.
So what are they doing? Do they go back and repair that again?
Yes, sir.
And when you go back and do that again, we don't have to pay for that.
Well, if our crew, if our crew is the one who repaired it, and the repair fails, we go back out and repair it ourselves. Let's say it's a repair that a contractor made, that repair would be under warranty. And so the contractor made that repair at their expense, not ours.
One other question. Do you think in some of our streets, I noticed when people came around to those, that people like these ones to travel around some of those streets, they're forbidden like 20th Avenue and the 7th Street. I know it's 18, but I've seen them myself. Are they supposed to travel those type of residential streets?
This is the question, are 18-wheelers supposed to travel those residential streets? Well, I believe there's regulations as to where those trucks can and cannot go. I really didn't speak to that service.
Okay. When I asked that question, but I see it in myself, you run that way, and well as on the Samson Road as well.
Right.
So I have.
Any other questions?
I do have one or two. I just want to say to Mr. Gamble and the Utilities Department, first of all, congratulate the team that will be leading these projects. It is so needed, and we all know that we have an aging city. Infrastructure is in dire need, as many other places our age and cities our size. Specifically, you said about 4.5 million in the oldest part of the city. And once again, is that the center part of the city?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
It is, yeah. And I say that, and I ask because as we ride and we hear from our constituents, me at least, and I know they hear a lot about the infrastructure issue. But that's something, I'm glad you brought this up, because it's some information that we can take to our citizens, constituents, and say, you know, bear with us. We have an aging city, and there's going to be some new projects that's coming. And I just recently heard of one, and I'm so glad that we're always, I know the team is, analyzing what needs to be done and how soon it needs to be done, and we'll get to it as soon as we can. And that's what I have witnessed since serving on council, and I just want to say thank you to that department and Mr. Hunter team for having the you know, analyzing the scope of the project and, you know, making sure that those get taken care of as soon as possible. But I'm glad to hear that the second district is going to, you know, benefit a lot from this new project. It is, you know, we hear it all the time. But I'm glad, you know, those water reports that we're getting today. I think that helps. You know, a lot of people ask about, you know, the quality of the water. And when we talk about those different types of chemicals that's going in the water, we have one of the cleanest water reports that I've seen. And I, you know, go to, you know, meetings up in Montgomery, and I hear about Limestone County these days. And our county and our city is not near where that water report lies. So thank you. That's basically what I want to say. Thank you for having the initiative to go out and seek these new projects, because it's so needed in our aging community. Thank you.
Also, I want to say something. You want to go ahead?
Well, I did want to take this opportunity. While we were, when we started the water filtration plant project, as I mentioned, there was major personnel changes that were required. Some were very difficult to do, and that was for scheduling and permitting purposes. And I'd like to thank the Columbus Water Works. They came and lent us some operators along the way, and we've also had some of the Smith Station Water Authority that helped, and the Opelika Water. And those guys came in at a very crucial time and provided a very needed service. We're through that phase now, I believe, but I did want to thank those folks for their hard work and their dedication to our community, to our region. So thank you.
That also gave us a chance to make it a regional operation and the camaraderie that we built with other teams and other water systems. But also part of what we talked about yesterday, Andy Moore is in charge of our grant team. And we've been, as you all know, we've been very successful. John Swagger and Jeff secured not too long ago, I told you about a grant of $5.7 million. She informed us yesterday of another $2 million. So the numbers that you all are hearing, they're big numbers, but we plan to attack that aggressively through our grant system and how successful we've been in that to help along with what we have to build as far as assistance plan for that also.
Yeah.
So we got high hopes on that being a big part of this. I think we will continue to be successful with that.
Let me address something real quick, maybe two things real quick. I agree with you on the outside contractors that come in. Probably half the phone calls I get about someone complaining about a water leak. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever length of time. Mr. Bailey started right after they put in the gas line. Mr. Bailey started right after the fiber optic people, right after the power company people did it. Very rarely is it say, Mr. Bailey, right after y'all work on something across the street, mine started leaking. Most of the time it's always generally on the same side of the road where it went down. Also, I get a lot of people call back, and I don't know how to address it. You don't know, you hate to have to repair it yourself, but a lot of these times these subcontractors come in and do stuff that we allow them to do in our city. They don't put everything back the way it should be put back. They leave gravel exposed. I know this Andy's phone calls on this all the time. Where the gas people let gravel exposed, let the pile of dirt, didn't level it back out. My lawnmower won't run over the top of it anymore. And we allowed the work to be done, but we didn't do the work. But it's just hard enough people to go around to do the work, much less send somebody behind everybody, to babysit everybody, to make sure that they put it back the way it should be, but yet it falls on our shoulders, and you don't have any idea how many homeowners or property owners just go out there on their own with a wheelbarrow and a rake and a shovel and just address it themselves and think it's easier for me to do it now than it is to wait 3 weeks or 4 weeks for the city to get down here and do it, or call and complain about it. Others wouldn't do it if it was piled up in the middle of the driveway. They drive around it, they park on the street and step over it. I mean, you got both kinds of people living in the city. But I don't know how in the world we can address that without having somebody that every time they finish a job, you have to go out and look at every spot that they dug up, rather than just, assume that they're putting it back. So a lot of that is what you're saying is exactly right.
Yes, sir. And these companies, Spire, AT&T, and there's a myriad of fiber companies out there. Those companies hire subcontractors Texas, and Utah, and Wyoming, North Carolina, they come in, and they're bored.
They do it, they're gone.
They're gone. And, like I said, we're working on a project to hopefully correlate that and to figure out a way perhaps to recoup some of the expenses.
I was gonna say, maybe they need to put up like some bond money or something ahead of time, you know, for just these type of things, that when you have to hire another company to come in and straighten out what you didn't do when you left. It comes out of that figure, just like it does when you rent somewhere on vacation. You know, they may take your credit card money and take the room rate, but you still got a little credit card laying there. If you bust a lamp or bust a refrigerator or whatever, you know, that's still on you.
Well, all the companies that are installing underground utilities have franchise agreements with the city. So we do receive franchise fees from these companies. There are indemnification provisions within that, and there are certain bonds that are.
And that's what I was gonna say, is how hard are they maybe to collect though? If you had some money put up front for the pilot, so to speak,
Yeah.
it would give you incentive to make sure that this stuff is done correctly, where you get your money back.
Well, I think we're moving towards the enforcement period.
There you go. Well, that's what I'm saying. You can only be a good guy for so long when you keep taking all the punches.
That's right. And I'd like to maybe perhaps discuss that in an executive session maybe in the future. But we're certainly looking at how we can do that.
Well, we also have done a lot of what you're talking about. They have, Angela sent out a lot of inspectors to bring them back, and they had to do makeup and clean the work up for them. As we catch them, they have to do that.
Well, we should.
Code enforcement.
Right.
Yeah, we did.
We have photos of where they poured the sprinklers, stormwater.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, but I mean, you know they have. They got a subcontractor that's the second or third or fourth generation down the line that's doing the work. They don't know how far back it's got to go before they get caught doing something. Yeah.
No, that's 100%.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, all this information that you presented to us this morning, which is very good, very inspiring. That information will be on the website, so the citizens of Main Street can take a look at it.
We would like to put an overview of the scope of the work that's being done by the utilities department. We certainly would like to see that, make it available to the citizens. So we're working on that.
Thank you, Chan. I do want to say this, this has been very informative. And thank you, City Manager and Councilmember Green for reminding me. I had it written down, but I overlooked it. But however, I do want to say that this was done for the reason where we can show to our citizens that these people are doing everything they can, and these people are people of this community that works for the city, and they are doing everything they can, and I hope that everyone would know that they're doing all they can, and as mentioned, there are water leaks. They know about them, they prioritize them, and it's not going unnoticed. But I will tell you, anytime you have to build a new culture, which is my hat's off to the city manager and his team for doing that, it's not easy. So I just appreciate you all having the courage to be able to be transparent as we always speak of this council, to let our citizens know. So, you know, let's not beat up on each other. Let's not beat up on them. Let's not beat up saying that we don't care. What has taken place this morning shows how transparent we are and how much we do care, because they are getting the problem head on. I know that the leaks has been reduced, but sometimes when they are reduced, some other one pops up. So it seems that nothing is taking place. But I do want to commend you all, City Manager, for having the courage to let the citizen know that we're doing everything we can, and the people are doing everything they can. So just let's try to give a little encouragement to them. But thank you, Chan, for that. And again, it's an opportunity for us to show how transparent we are, and we certainly thank the city manager for that. Okay?
Council.
Thank you all, and proceeding on at this time. Thank you all for keeping me accountable. Now, council, at this time, are there any unfinished business? that any council member would like to discuss? If not, we will get into the resolutions and on administration. We have an administration here for the verification of business license for Smiley's Appliance Repair. And at this time, I would like to open this up and call for an administrative hearing. If there's anyone that would like to step forward to discuss this hearing, now's the time to do so. Okay. Mr. Brunswick?
Yes, on my license.
Could you speak up?
Yes. I'm here for both of my license.
Okay.
Said I have to have some appliances in the front, but I've been in location for the last 10 or more years. And the last 3 years, I've had very serious damage issues going on. People seem to drop a lot of stuff off. Sometimes get out of hand. Most of the time get out of hand. And I try to recover as soon as I possibly can. But now, damage issues I've been resolved as my mama passed for the last 5 6 months. So now I'm just taking more time for the business now to get this resolved. I don't post signs now. Say do not drop any appliances off after certain hours. So,
Well, I'm so sorry to hear about your mom, and I commend you on, taking care of your mom. But I've read it, I think it's most of this council have now, it's been going back since 2016, and correct me if I'm wrong, situation, and they're coming out and working with you and all of that, so it's,
it's been a lot of time with my mom for the last 3 years, 3 4 years. And, people start dropping stuff off. Sometimes I don't come to the shop for 3 or 4 days.
mhm.
Get back there and be blood. So, try the best I can. And get it resolved. I got that hand right now. I
Okay.
want the signs and stuff. But I probably need more appliances, so.
Okay. Mr. Carson?
Mr. Mayor, council, we have been dealing with Mr. Brown in this situation for the better part of 10 years. It basically averages out to about every 6 months he has a year apprentice given to him for the same issues. Empathetic in this situation, but at the same time, he's got the responsibility as a business in the city to keep this property clean and within ordinances, guidelines that we have. He's had more than adequate opportunities to do this. He's had several citations written for the same issue. He's also got one pending that court dates on July 10th, if I'm not mistaken, for Officer Small, a citation for the same problem. And this will be the 4th time he's got a citation for this. It's continuing on. It's a main arterial road through the city. It's a public nuisance, and that's the reason we presented it to boss road officials. Felt like he's had a little bit of time to try to resolve this issue. It's wasting city workers' time and resources that we use other places. So that's the reason for this.
And again, we are showing sympathy for you in the loss of your mom, but again, as he stated, and as I stated before, as looking at it, it's been an ongoing problem since 2016.
2016.
Yes, sir. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Garrett Furnace Road, July 29, 2016.
And it's been, I thought it was 6 times, but you said 4 times with citation has been.
1, 2, 3, 4. Actually,
5 times?
5 times.
I thought it was 6,
Yes,
yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
There's a lot of time, a couple times, you get the citation, but regardless of that, trying my best to be stuff, of course, now, so I have more time to deal with this, deal with the dropping stuff off. I think about 12 years if you drop this off, but at first I had 2 different homes. You start dropping stuff off, but by the first 5 years, what they say, it's let people accumulate stuff on donate stuff, write stuff to me and stuff. I've been working with this kid for a minute, it's hard to get a check off at the same time, which
the time that you were issued the citation, did you ever correct that situation based on the citation being issued? To clean
Yes,
up?
sir. Yes, I corrected it, play time, but I didn't correct it. You correct it, you drop it off some again. If it corrected,
What's gonna prevent them from dropping it off now? I mean, we've been doing it all those years, even after you clean it up, they still do it. You can't be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you need to do it.
I never post signs, and I put some signs on my windows now, you know what I'm saying? I used to just call and tell them to do it, but I haven't said, you know, so now it's.
But what I'm getting at, even though you do that, you still can't keep them from dropping stuff off. And if they drop it off, it's gonna do the same thing it's been doing in the past, it's gonna collect before you either got enough help to move it, or if you have enough time to move it. It sounds to me like you just got some people that help you too much, is what it sounds like. They bring you too much stuff, they help you too much, which is not helping you, it's actually hurting you. But there's no way in the world you can prevent it, you can't stop them. And, in the past, if you hadn't disposed of the stuff quick enough because of time or because of, the ability to do it, you can only do so much. You're still gonna be in that same position, is what I'm saying. That's kind of the way the city's looking at it, I'm sure.
And not only that, we have the responsibility to make sure everything by law and ordinance, which is one of the same, we have the responsibility to enforce those. They have the responsibility to do that. And one of the things that I can say wholeheartedly, we have been consistent, and when I say consistent, this council, as well as its workers, and we take great pride in that. So, again, it's just hard for me to believe 2016, there's been a problem, you've been issued 5, I thought it was 6, so, I did go to school way west, so sometimes I don't have it right. But nevertheless, it just appears that 9 years, and it's still been going on, it just doesn't look right, okay? It just doesn't, being honest, it just doesn't look right.
Well, let me ask you this, sir. When did you replace your signs in the windows so we cannot drop that stuff?
About a month ago.
About a month ago. But during that time, you had a flood of stuff around your business, so, right?
Anytime you get outside, I get stuff around there, I got one around here, right, that I usually do stuff on a regular basis. I contact them within the last month or so. Go to them personally after you drop this stuff off. Okay?
Where it appears, it looks, like I said, it just doesn't look good, because it appears, one would have to think, and I have to say, in me reading and looking at everything, I have to be honest and say, it made me think that once you receive those citations, you would get it right at that time, and then it occurs again. And that's just not a pretty picture from my standpoint. So, again, yes, sir.
May I say something, sir?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, council.
Good morning.
I'm also on, for the past several years, I've been the primary also making contact with Mr. Rogers about his property. The code requires us, when it comes to international managed property, to give a notice. It's required that we give at least a 3-day notice, and usually no more than 30 unless I get raised permission. So every single time he was issued a citation, I observed the violation. He was issued a notice, I'm gonna be back in 7 days, I'll be back in 5 days, whatever it is I gave him. And then when I return, he's still in violation. That's when he gets the citations. And this is how it always goes. That happens, I'll leave him alone after that night, that 4 days. He comes to court, the judge always asks me to see pictures. Judge, here's how it was made a citation. He sets it out for review, gives Mr. Rogers an opportunity to clean it up. What happens most of the time is on the day of the review, when Mr. Rogers has to come back, his plans whistle. I go out there the day before, the judge still wants to see pictures, front of the clean, back clean. we can't go a week or two in our office without getting somebody driving on Fourth Avenue calling us. So I'm forced to readdress it. I'm forced to.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and what's happening up to this point, this isn't working. He's just, it's a cycle. Which is why we're in here. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Mr. Brundage, you would like to add or take away?
So
Okay.
Let me ask, Mayor, my condolences to you and your family on the loss of your loved one. When you receive the items, I know you repair some of them. What do you do with the ones you can't repair?
I think just drop down, some people drop off, we repair, some of them I repair myself.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say? Anything else, Mr. Brundage?
The only other thing I was made aware of is that the fire department had come out for a car survey and the fire extinguishers inside the business is not permanent this time either, so that's another, just another item that doesn't suit well for the business. We don't have fire extinguishers, maintaining the proper work, or testing. The workers will make them safe inside the sort of that time.
Okay. Thank you.
I would like to continue to plan and I've been to the location as possible. From the, really cool, it's not a ability.
Okay. Thank you.
I would hate to relocate, I would hate to leave. Last thing I want to do. So, but I might never lose if I get a chance to be served.
Okay.
See you.
Well, it's not indefinite, the revocation.
Well, there's just certain things, but thank you so much, and thank you all so much. Is there anyone else that would like to come and address council as far as this administrative hearing?
Let me say one thing, again, Mayor. What Officer Smallwood said is correct. I go home that way every evening. And he was correct when I go by there. About the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's been clean as a whistle. Nothing in front, no trailer in front, no nothing in front. Every other time before that, it's continuously, and I couldn't tell what's the same stuff sitting out front of us, 10 other different items, but there's always 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 items sitting on the front porch there where people can't even walk down in front of what used to be stores when I was a kid. Very few of those things are rented out now, some of them are, maybe they're all rented, but some of them are not an open business. But, and around back, I've seen some of the stuff around back, because I've had people who live down there and call me up and ask me just to ride down there and look at it. So, you know, they're telling the truth, and I understand where you're coming from, but we're not in business to go around picking on businesses. But we are in business to, when we do send the city employees out and ask them to take care of my place, you take care of your place, everybody take care of stuff. Everybody's got to follow the same rules and regulations, and it's only fair that, you know, we back them up to enforce the stuff when it should be enforced. It's just that simple.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Brundage.
Thank you.
Again, if there's anyone that would like to come and address council as far as this administrative hearing, we still have time if you would like to. If not, I am closing this administration hearing. And with that, proceeding on, council, we have a resolution in reference to the revocation of business license for Smiley's Appliance Repair, Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City Council of the City of Phenix City has received a violation report on Smiley Appliance Repair, a business in the City of Phenix City. And whereas the City of Phenix City has a procedure for revocation of business license under City Ordinance Section 46-230 for businesses that are in violation of any ordinance of the municipality or any statute of the state relating to the business for which such licenses are issued. And whereas, after giving the licensee or applicant an opportunity at this administrative hearing to address council on this, the first day of July 2025, on the issues of revoking a business license, the City Council finds the business, Smiley's Appliance Repair, and its owner, Curtis Brundage, to be in violation of city ordinances and/or state statutes. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, does hereby revoke the 2025 City of Phoenix City Business License of Smiley's Appliance Repair at 2212 4th Avenue, Phoenix City, Alabama. Curtis Brundage, owner. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've heard the resolution at this time. I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilman Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Green. We have the motion, we have the second. Any comments or discussion? Okay, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, council, we have a resolution in reference to accepting the proposed settlement and the claim against Sierra Pacific Industries in the amount of $25,000. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas on July 9, 2023, a contractor struck a water main while working on property owned by Sierra Pacific Industries, wherein the estimated damages suffered by the city are approximately $32,000. And whereas the parties have reached an agreement to settle all claims of the city of Phoenix City against Sierra Pacific Industries in the amount of $25,000. And whereas City Council affirms that it is in the best interest of the city to settle this claim in the amount of $25,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama does hereby accept and approve of the proposed settlement regarding the city's claim against Sierra Pacific Industries in the amount of $25,000 and does further authorize the mayor and city manager to execute a settlement agreement and release on behalf of the city. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
All right, motion from Councilmember Green, second, Councilman Davis. You have that, Mrs. Davis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Comments or discussion? All right. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council. On administration is a resolution in reference to issuing a certificate of election to Adrian Lowe for the office of mayor for such term pursuant to the provision of section 114625 as amended. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas section 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provide for regulate general and special elections in cities and towns of this state, except those cities and towns which have a commission form of government. And whereas section 11-46-43 of the Alabama Code of 1975 prohibits write-in candidates in elections held under sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended. And whereas section 11-46-26 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provides that if only one person has filed a statement of candidacy or has been nominated for an office for an election to be held pursuant to sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended at the time the deadline for qualification has passed, then such person shall, for all purposes, be deemed elected to such office, and the mayor or other chief executive officer shall not cause the name of such person or the office for which his candidacy was declared to be printed on the ballot, but he shall immediately file a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy or was nominated for the office preceding the deadline set for an election of municipal officers of the municipality and settling for the name of such person. And whereas said section 11-46-26 as amended provides that the governing body of the municipality, after receiving such statement, shall adopt a resolution declaring the person named in the statement duly elected to the office described in the statement, and shall issue a certificate of election to such person. And whereas the mayor of the city of Phoenix City, Alabama has filed a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy for the office of mayor prior to the deadline, and that name of the person who filed such statement was Eddie N. Lowe. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, that Eddie N. Lowe be and he is hereby declared duly elected to the office of mayor in the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, for the term of office commencing on the first Monday of November 2025. Be it further resolved that the mayor of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, be and is hereby directed to issue a certificate of election to Eddie N. Lowe for the office of mayor for such term pursuant to the provisions of section 11-46-25 as amended. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, we have all heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion from Councilman Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Day. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
I'm going to abstain. Abstain.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Proceeding on, at this time, we have a resolution in reference to issuing a certificate of election to Donna Steve Bailey for the office of council member District 1 for such term pursuant to the provision of section 11-46-25 as amended. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provide for the regular, general, and special elections in cities and towns of this state, except those cities and towns which have a commission form of government. And whereas section 11-46-43 of the Alabama Code of 1975 prohibits write-in candidates in elections held under sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended. And whereas section 11-46-26 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provides that if only one person has filed a statement of candidacy or has been nominated for an office for an election to be held pursuant to sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended at the time that the deadline for qualification has passed, then such persons shall, for all purposes, be deemed elected to such office, and the mayor or other chief executive officer shall not cause the name of such person or the office for which his candidacy was declared to be printed on the ballot, but he shall immediately file a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person has filed a statement of candidacy or was nominated for the office preceding the deadline set for an election of municipal officers of the municipality and setting forth the name of such person. And whereas said section 11-46-26 as amended provides that the governing body of the municipality, after receiving such statement, shall adopt a resolution declaring the person named in the statement duly elected to the office described in the statement and shall issue a certificate of election to such person. And whereas the mayor of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama has filed a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy for the office of council member District 1 prior to the deadline, and that name of the person who filed such statement was Donald Steve Bailey. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, that Donald Steve Bailey be and he is hereby declared duly elected to the office of council member District 1 in the City of Phoenix City, Alabama for the term of office commencing on the first Monday of November 2025. Be it further resolved that the mayor of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama be and he is hereby directed to issue a certificate of election to Donald Steve Bailey for the office of council member District 1 for such term pursuant to the provisions of section 11-46-25 as amended. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion from Councilman Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Green. Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Abstain.
Mayor Lo?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Proceeding on again, council, on administration, we have a resolution in reference to issuing a certificate of election to Steve Pace for the office of school board member, District 1, Place 1, for such term pursuant to the provision of section 114625 as amended. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas sections 11-46-20 through 11-4673 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provide for and regulate general and special elections in cities and towns of this state, except those cities and towns which have a commission form of government. And whereas section 11-46-43 of the Alabama Code of 1975 prohibits write-in candidates in elections held under sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended. And whereas section 11-46-26 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provides that if only one person has filed a statement of candidacy or has been nominated for an office for an election to be held pursuant to sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended, at the time the deadline for qualification has passed, then such person shall, for all purposes, be deemed elected to such office, and the mayor or other chief executive officer shall not cause the name of such person or the office for which his candidacy was declared to be printed on the ballot, but he shall immediately file a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy or was nominated for the office preceding the deadline set for an election of school board members of the municipality and setting forth the name of such person. And whereas said section 11-46-26 as amended provides that the governing body of the municipality, after receiving such statement, shall adopt a resolution declaring the person named in the statement duly elected to the office described in the statement and shall issue a certificate of election to such person. And whereas the mayor of the city of Phenix City, Alabama, has filed a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy for the office of school board member, District 1, Place 1, prior to the deadline, and that name of the person who filed such statement was Steve Pace. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that Steve Pace be and he is hereby declared duly elected to the office of school board member, District 1, Place 1, in the City of Phenix City, Alabama, for the term of office commencing on the first Monday of November 2025. Be it further resolved that the mayor of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, be and he hereby is directed to issue a certificate of election to Steve Pace for the office of school board member, District 1, Place 1, for such term pursuant to the provisions of section 11-46-25 as amended. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've all heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Green, may I have a second? Second, Councilman Bailey. Okay, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Daggett?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Proceeding on, council. Sandy, we need to take a break. We need to drink some water.
I'm gonna drink some.
Proceeding on, we have a resolution in reference to issuing a certificate of election to Jonathan Taylor for the office of school board member, District 1, Place 2, for such term pursuant to the provision of section 114625 as amended. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provide for and regulate general and special election in cities and towns of this state, except those cities and towns which have a commission form of government. And whereas section 11-46-43 of the Alabama Code of 1975 prohibits write-in candidates in elections held under sections 11-46-20 through through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended. And whereas Section 11-46-26 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provides that if only one person has filed a statement of candidacy or has been nominated for an office for an election to be held pursuant to Sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended at the time the deadline for qualification has passed, then such person shall, for all purposes, be deemed elected to such office, and the mayor or other chief executive officer shall not cause the name of such person or the office for which his candidacy was declared to be printed on the ballot, but he shall immediately file a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy or was nominated for the office preceding the deadlines set for an election of school board members of the municipality and setting forth the name of such person. And whereas said Section 11-46-26 as amended provides that the governing body of the municipality, after receiving such statement, shall adopt a resolution declaring the person named in the statement duly elected to the office described in the statement, and shall issue a certificate of election to such person. And whereas the mayor of the city of Phenix City, Alabama, has filed a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy for the office of school board member District 1, Place 2, prior to the deadline, and that name of the person who filed such statement was Jonathan Taylor. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that Jonathan Taylor be and he is hereby declared duly elected to the office of school board member District 1, Place 2 in the City of Phenix City, Alabama for the term of office commencing on the first Monday of November 2025. Be it further resolved that the mayor of the City of Phenix City, Alabama be and he hereby is directed to issue a certificate of election to Jonathan Taylor for the office of school board member District 1, Place 2 for such term pursuant to the provisions of Section 11-46-25 as amended. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Thank you again, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've heard the resolution. This time I'd like to ask the council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Bailey. Okay, call for the vote. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day.
Yes.
Councilmember Green.
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey.
Yes.
Mayor Lo.
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on the council is a resolution in reference to issuing a certificate of election to James Elliott Patrick of the office of school board member District 2, Place 1 for such term pursuant to the provision of Section 11-46-25 as amended. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas Section 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provide for and regulate general and special elections in cities and towns of this state, except those cities and towns which have a commission form of government. And whereas Section 11-46-43 of the Alabama Code of 1975 prohibits write-in candidates in elections held under Sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended. And whereas Section 11-46-26 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provides that if only one person has filed a statement of candidacy or has been nominated for an office for an election to be held pursuant to Sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended at the time the deadline for qualification has passed, then such person shall, for all purposes, be deemed elected to such office, and the mayor or other chief executive officer shall not cause the name of such person or the office for which his candidacy was declared to be printed on the ballot, but he shall immediately file a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy or was nominated for the office preceding the deadline set for an election of school board members of the municipality and setting forth the name of such person. And whereas Sections 11-46-26 as amended provides that the governing body of the municipality, after receiving such statement, shall adopt a resolution declaring the person named in the statement duly elected to the office described in the statement, and shall issue a certificate of election to such person. And whereas the mayor of the city of Phenix City, Alabama, has filed a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy for the office of School Board Member District 2, Place 1, prior to the deadline, and that name of the person who filed such statement was James Elliott Patrick. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that James Elliott Patrick be and he is hereby declared duly elected to the office of School Board Member District 2, Place 1 in the City of Phenix City, Alabama, for the term of office commencing on the first Monday of November 2025. Be it further resolved that the mayor of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, be and he hereby is directed to issue a certificate of election to James Elliott Patrick for the office of School Board Member District 2, Place 1 for such term pursuant to the provisions of sections 11-46-25 as amended. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Okay. Still good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, council, we've heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask the council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from Councilman Day, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Day. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day,
Yes.
Councilmember Green,
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey,
Yes.
Mayor Lo.
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on the council, on administration is a resolution in reference to issuing a certificate of election to Katrina Collier Long for the office of School Board Member District 3, Place 1 for such term pursuant to the provision of section 11-46-25 as amended. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provide for and regulate general and special elections in cities and towns of this state, except those cities and towns which have a commission form of government. And whereas section 11-46-43 of the Alabama Code of 1975 prohibits write-in candidates in elections held under sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended. And whereas section 11-46-26 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provides that if only one person has filed a statement of candidacy or has been nominated for an office for an election to be held pursuant to the sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended at the time the deadline for qualification has passed, then such person shall for all purposes be deemed elected to such office, and the mayor or other chief executive officer shall not cause the name of such person or the office for which his candidacy was declared to be printed on the ballot, but he shall immediately file a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy or was nominated for the office preceding the deadline set for an election of school board members of the municipality, and setting forth the name of such person. And whereas section 11-46-26 as amended provides that the governing body of the municipality, after receiving such statement, shall adopt a resolution declaring the person named in the statement duly elected to the office described in the statement, and shall issue a certificate of election to such person. And whereas the mayor of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, has filed a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy for the office of School Board Member District 3, Place 1, prior to the deadline, and that the name of the person who filed such statement was Katrina Collier Long. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that Katrina Collier Long be and she is hereby declared duly elected to the office of School Board Member District 3, Place 1 in the City of Phenix City, Alabama, for the term of office commencing on the first Monday of November 2025. Be it further resolved that the mayor of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, be and he hereby is directed to issue a certificate of election to Katrina Collier Long for the office of School Board Member, District 3, Place 1, for such term pursuant to the provisions of sections 11-46-25 as amended. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Okay, thank you again, Mrs. Davis, so very much. Council, we've all heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Green, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Bailey. Okay, call for the vote, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day? Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
And also, council, we have a resolution in reference to issuing a certificate of election to Yolanda Daniel for the office of School Board Member, District 3, Place 2, for such term pursuant to the provision of section 114625 as amended. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas section 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provide for and regulate general and special elections in cities and towns of this state, except those cities and towns which have a commission form of government. And whereas section 11-46-43 of the Alabama Code of 1975 prohibits write-in candidates in elections held under sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended. And whereas section 11-46-26 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended provides that if only one person has filed a statement of candidacy or has been nominated for an office for an election to be held pursuant to sections 11-46-20 through 11-46-73 of the Alabama Code of 1975 as amended at the time the deadline for qualification has passed, then such persons shall, for all purposes, be deemed elected to such office, and the mayor or other chief executive officer shall not cause the name of such person or the office for which his candidacy was declared to be printed on the ballot, but he shall immediately file a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy or was nominated for the office preceding the deadline set for an election of school board members of the municipality, and setting forth the name of such person. And whereas said section 11-46-26 as amended provides that the governing body of the municipality, after receiving such statement, shall adopt a resolution declaring the person named in the statement duly elected to the office described in the statement, and shall issue a certificate of election to such person. And whereas the mayor of the city of Phenix City, Alabama, has filed a written statement with the governing body of the municipality, attested by the clerk, certifying the fact that only one person filed a statement of candidacy for the office of school board member, District 3, Place 2, prior to the deadline, and that name of the person who filed such statement was Yolanda Daniel. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that Yolanda Daniel be and she is hereby declared duly elected to the office of school board member, District 3, Place 2, in the city of Phenix City, Alabama, for the term of office commencing on the first Monday of November 2025. Be it further resolved that the mayor of the city of Phenix City, Alabama, be and he hereby is directed to issue a certificate of election to Yolanda Daniel for the office of school board member, District 3, Place 2, for such term pursuant to the provisions of section 11-46-25 as amended. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Thank you again, Mrs. Davis. Mr. Council, we've heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Councilmember Green, may I have a second? Second, Councilman Davis. Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, council, moving on the building department. We have a resolution and public notice in reference to setting public hearing dates and fixing demolition costs associated with the property located at 1004 North Railroad Street. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama has been informed by the building official of the city that a substandard structure located at 1004 North Railroad Street, Phenix City, Alabama, was in need of demolition or removal. And whereas the City of Phenix City, Alabama has solicited sealed bids as required by Alabama law, and the apparent low bidder meeting the specifications required for the demolition of the substandard structure was All Seasons Lawn Care, the bid and dummy fees being $18,000, and the demolition and final inspection being completed on the 16th day of May 2025. And whereas the city is required by law to give notice by certified or registered mail to the person last assessed for abnormal taxes before the final fixing of costs, and a copy of the resolution is to be published in the Citizen of East Alabama, a newspaper of local and general publication in Russell County, Alabama. And whereas the building official of the city of Phenix City, Alabama was authorized to proceed with the demolition and or removal of the substandard structure with the apparent low bidder at the approved bid price. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama as follows. 1, that the city clerk give notice by certified or registered mail to the person last assessed for abnormal taxes, and a copy of this resolution be published in the Citizen of East Alabama newspaper one time before the final fixing of costs and establishment of a special assessment upon the property as required by law. 2, that the date for fixing of costs before the City Council shall be August 5th, 2025 at 9:00 a.m. in the council chambers. 3, that at such public hearing, any person interested in this property, as well as the person last assessed for abnormal taxes, should appear and give reason, if any, while the City Council should not establish a special assessment upon the property for the cost of the demolition or removal of the substandard structure, which the owner of the property had either failed or refused to do after it had become a public danger or health hazard. 4, the sum of $18,000 shall be levied against the property located at 1004 North Railroad Street, Phenix City, Alabama, as a special assessment, and shall constitute a lien against the property to be collected through the Revenue Commissioner's Office for Russell County, Alabama. The council notes that the parcel identification number of said property is 05-01-11-3-302-102.000. Number 5, that the property owners, as shown on the tax records of Russell County, Alabama, is Wenham Home Rentals and Senior Care, LLC, 6301 Garrett Road, Midland, Georgia, 31820. Passed and approved. This passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've heard the resolution. This time I'd like to ask the council for a motion. We have a motion from Councilman Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Davis. Comments or discussion? Okay. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on to council on the building department, we have a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor and city manager to accept change order number 1 with Ben Boyd Construction Company Incorporation in an amount not to exceed $38,482 for renovations to the Phenix City Information Technology Building located at 1211 7th Avenue. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phenix City, Alabama, in Resolution 2025-68, dated April 15, 2025, contracted services of Ben Gordy Construction Company, Inc. to renovate the existing building at 1211 7th Avenue into the Phenix City Information Technology Building in an amount of $1,665,000. And whereas it has been determined that a change order is deemed necessary, more specifically as follows. Change order number 1. Item, abate 3 layers of floor tile containing asbestos, first and second floors of the entire building. Addition $38,482. Total amount of change order number 1, $38,482. Whereas such a change order would result in a contractual adjustment of an additional $38,482 and causing the contractual amount to be $1,703,482. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama does hereby authorize and direct the mayor and city manager to accept change order number 1 contract documents with Ben Gordy Construction Company, Inc. for the above referenced project. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Okay, thank you again, Mrs. Davis, for the reading of the resolution, which council we've all heard. This time I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
All right, Motion, Councilmember Green, second, Councilman Bailey. Okay, we have the motion, we have the second, we have comments or discussion?
Yes, sir, man, can we get somebody to elaborate what the system of Phoenix City, we realize this is a high dollar item, and the reason why it costs so much, there's a reason.
Yeah, I'm just curious too, how do you pick up on the asbestos? I mean, sometimes I guess you can see it, but this was, I guess, made in the tile was made
Yes, sir.
out of asbestos.
If the age of the tile, a lot of times
Okay.
take,
Kind of tips you off.
in the date process that, asbestos is used.
Okay.
They have to do a test a lot of times just to check. But yes, sir, that's the reason behind it, because of the abatement of the asbestos, and it's quite.
So when you, find out of an invested in here, you check the tiles,
Yes, sir. The tiles have been checked, and it's showing that it is asbestos. And so they have to relate it very properly, and it's quite a lengthy and, intricate process, so that's the reason for the price.
and the reason it costs so much, because it's invested, it takes a certain, company to get rid of that, and you have to do a
You have to be
certain.
certified to remove, yes, sir, bring somebody in.
I just want our citizens to understand that.
Yes, sir, absolutely, absolutely. And there's 3 layers of it, so that's quite a bit that has to be removed, so that's the.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Larson, appreciate it. Any other comments, discussion? Not, at this time, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council, under the building department, we have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to accept the proposal from Neil Kindust and Murphy, PC Architects, professional service for the preliminary design and construction plans for addition to the municipal building in the amount not to exceed $95,250. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the city of Phoenix City plans to construct an addition to the municipal building, and whereas professional architect services are required for the preliminary design and construction plans of the addition, and whereas Neil, Kindus, and Murray, PC, architects have submitted a proposal for professional architect services for the project in an amount not to exceed $95,250. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, does hereby authorize and direct the mayor and city manager to accept the proposal from Neil, Kindus, and Murray, PC, architects for preliminary design and construction plans for additions to the municipal building in an amount not to exceed $95,250. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Thank you again, Mrs. Davis, for the reading of that resolution. Which council, we've heard the resolution at this time. I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please. May I have a motion, council?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from Councilman Bailey, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Green. Okay, any comments or discussion? Not. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, council on the Parks and Recreation Department. Resolution in reference to a one-time compensation of $500 to the Phoenix City Youth Baseball 7U, 8U, and 9U All-Star teams for entering into the 2025 USSSA World Series in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama desires to serve the residents by supporting recreational services, and whereas the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama would like to recognize the accomplishments of the Phoenix City Youth Baseball 7U, 8U, and 9U All-Star teams, and whereas the Phoenix City Youth Baseball teams swept through their region and were crowned Alabama State champions, and whereas the Phoenix City Youth Baseball All-Star teams were awarded a berth in the 2025 USSSA World Series in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama wishes to make a one-time compensation of $500 provided funds are available to the Phoenix City Youth Baseball 7U, 8U, and 9U All-Star teams to defray costs associated with the advancement to the 2025 USSSA World Series. Be it further resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama does congratulate the Phoenix City Youth Baseball All-Stars on their successful season and best wishes in the World Series in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Council, you've heard the resolution. May I ask for a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion, Councilman Day, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Green. Comments or discussion?
Yes, sir, Mayor, we are very proud of, our kids representing the city in, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we are very proud of, at least, everybody knows Phenix City a lot. Athletes come out and see Phenix City, not only baseball, but all, sports as well, basketball, football as well. Thank you.
Mr. Day?
Yeah, I concur.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Green. At this time, council, I'd like to call for a vote. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, Utilities Department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor and city manager to hire Southern Rewinding Corporation for the repair and installation of a water pump at the Brandywine Pump Station in an amount not to exceed $11,100. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phoenix City Utilities Department operates a water distribution system which supplies water to the Phoenix City and Russell County. And whereas the Brandywine Pump Station currently has 2 water pumps operating and a third pump which was taken out of service to inspect due to severe leak. And whereas if one of the 2 currently operating pumps were to fail, the Utilities Department may not be able to provide an adequate amount of water to Phoenix City and Russell County in the area served by the Brandywine Pump Station. And whereas Southern Rewinding Inc. has inspected said leaking pump and submitted a proposal for the repair and installation of said pump in an amount not to exceed $11,100. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama does hereby authorize and direct the mayor and city manager to hire Southern Rewinding Inc. for the repair and installation of a water pump at the Brandywine Pump Station in an amount not to exceed $11,100. Passed, approved, and adopted this first day of July 2025.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Council, you've heard the resolution. This time, may I ask for a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Motion, Councilman Day, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Bailey. Comments or discussion? Okay. If not, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, council, on the ordinance. We have a public hearing and second reading. It's an ordinance to rezone 5.09 plus minor acres of land located at 222 Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway from the R3 zone, high density residential district to the C4 zone, highway commercial district. Bob White Investment LLC is the owner. We had the first reading in council on May 20th of this year. I am not going to ask the clerk to reread it. So with that said, now at this time I would like to open it up for a public hearing. And if there's anyone that would like to come and step forward in reference to this rezoning, now is the time to do so. Okay. Since no one has stepped forward, I am calling this public hearing closed. And at this time, council, I would like to call for a motion, please. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve it.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Green. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Day. Excuse me, Councilman Day. So we have a motion and we have a second. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Also, council on the public hearing and second reading, we have an ordinance to rezone 5.16 plus minor acres of land located at Opelika Road and Newsom Drive from the A1 zone, low density residential and general agriculture district to an R2 zone, medium density residential district. EEH Holding LLC is the owner. Also, council, this first reading was on the 20th of May. I'm not going to ask the clerk to reread it. However, I am now preparing this as an open public hearing. And if there's anyone that would like to come and address the council in reference to this rezoning, now is the time to do so. Okay. Since no one has stepped forward, I am now closing this public hearing. And now, council, I would like to ask for a motion, please. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion, Councilman Day, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Green. All right, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
And also, council, on the second reading, we have an ordinance to amend section 1.0441 and 1.0443 of the merit system rules and regulations of the city of Phoenix City, Alabama. Council, the first reading, it was on the 17th of June. I'm not going to ask the council the clerk to reread this. However, at this time, I'd like to call for a motion, please. May I have a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion, Councilman Day, may I have a second? Second, Councilman Bailey. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, council. Now, at this time, I'd like to call upon our attorney, Mr. Jimmy Grant.
Good morning, Mayor and Council.
Good morning.
We have two claims on the agenda today. First claim filed on Mr. Chuck Walton. Once Mr. Walton had filed this claim, the Assistant City Manager, Chan Gamble, had trying to contact him to give permission to come on his property to investigate the claim and do basically our due diligence. Well, he wouldn't respond to emails, telephone calls, any sort of information, and we put it on the agenda to tonight because of his lack of cooperation. But what he did was finally got in touch, and they are now working with him, and he is working with us. And we need time to investigate the claim, see if it's his problem or the city's problem, and we're going to need to table this until the second meeting in August, where we can come back with a good recommendation.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Grant. Council, we've heard the recommendation. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to table. Motion to table. I have a motion. Councilman Day, may I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second, Councilmember Green. Okay. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
We have a second claim that's filed by Alpha Insurance for Wendy Birmingham. We had denied this claim earlier because they only provided us with one estimate for repairs to the car. They have come back and added two more estimates. The lowest being $3,376.86 to United Auto Collision. My recommendation would be to approve that claim in that manner.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Grant, again. Council, we've heard our attorney recommendation. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion.
Motion to approve the recommendation.
Okay, motion, Councilman Day, second, Councilmember Green. Okay. We have the motion, we have the second. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I have a point of privilege to say?
Sure.
We were talking about culture changes this morning with the departments. And I feel remiss if I didn't say that when Mr. Hunter was appointed city manager, he started the process by selecting department heads that change the culture for this city, every department. And if you'll remember, and I'm not singling her out because all our department heads do a great job, but when Angel was appointed as city engineer and then later public works director, Wallace can tell you, when I was on the council for 9 years, the engineer department and the public works department was a mess. We tried everything, we could never get the right person for those positions. I think the employee theft in public works was at an all-time high. We had to fire people, but when Ms. Moore took over, she changed the culture in the engineering department at public works. and we don't have to worry about folks spending funds anymore. And that's, I want to thank Mr. Humphrey.
Well, anytime you change culture, you have to make a tough decision. And,
Well, they did,
Yeah.
nickname Miss Moore the Black Widow. She was cleaning house anyway, but, she did a good job.
yeah, that has to happen. Thank you, Mr. Black. Thank you all so much. Before we adjourn, council member, anything for the order? Before I turn it over to Mr. Humphrey.
I'd just like to say, coming up on the 4th of July, remember where we live, in Phenix City, in Alabama, the United States of America. We live in a great country, we live in a great city, good people. But there's still a lot of evil in this world, awful lot of evil. Firefighters just now know it. I think I saw on the news where it was 2 that were killed, another that was injured, and it's just straight up assassination. There's no other reason for it. Politicians are being killed and shot in different places, not just in Israel, not just in Gaza, not just in Kyiv, not just in Iran, but right here in the United States. We got to watch out for each other. We got to be more diligent. But we have got to start loving each other and caring about each other. People got to start valuing each other. And I know it's easy to say that, and sometimes it's hard to practice. But when you think that, as old as I am, it seems like times were a lot different, a lot easier. But I'm sure there was probably just as much meanness and just as much cruelty in the world at that time when I was growing up as there is now. It just wasn't known immediately. People couldn't try to compete, do it. I think that's the problem we get into. People want to compete. When a person does something that affects 5, somebody else wants to affect 10. Well, I guess that's a good theory if you're doing good things. So try to do the good things. Let somebody affect 5 people the right way. Then maybe somebody affect 10 people the right way. And let's bring unity back together, bring caring back together, and start sharing the good things that we have. This country has come a long, long way. Always will have a way to go. People are always going to be changing continuously. But we live in the best country in the world. We live in the most powerful country in the world. We live in a country that seems to care about the whole entire world. So, since we live in a country that cares about everybody else outside this world, let's start caring about each other within this country. And just remember to celebrate the 4th of July and celebrate the safety.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bailey.
I got one comment, I'll be brief, and I won't ramble, I promise. Congratulations again to the utility new team. It is so well, I know, deserving, and so again, just congratulations, and we look forward to working with you all on all of your initiatives, and we want to see those projects come to fruition because our city not only deserve it, but we've been waiting for something like that for some time since I've been living in Phenix City and been knowing what's what. And congratulations to Ms. Angel and the officer, 2 people, 40 years. And that speaks volume about the caring and commitment that they have to our city. And we're so proud to have you as part of that teams that look out for the citizen here in Phenix City. So congratulations to you, you two. And we've passed 7 resolutions today, awarding certificates of election. Councilmember Bailey, congratulations. It's been a pleasure serving with you, and hope to continue to serve with you. And you've reached a milestone. I don't know how many years you've been serving, but we thank you for your service, and look forward to working continuously with you. I had a chance to witness the mayor and his team with the mayor's scholarship about 12th year. And so, in looking at that, it tells me that our mayor is someone that cares about people, and he cares about educating people and providing the necessary tools to get it there. And so I just want to say personally, Mayor, congratulations. And the reason why I say I know he care about people is because on 2024, I spent approximately almost 2 months in the hospital. And this man called me, I can count on one hand how many people outside of my family called me and asked me how I was doing. And this mayor, he was one of them. And that's why I say I know he care about people. And so we need somebody like that in our leadership role in our city. And if you had an opponent, you would have had my vote. Because I know that you care about people, and that's what we need. We need leadership like that. You have persevered through milestones, and again, I just want to say congratulations and continue the great work that you continue to do and make our city one of the best places to live, worship, and attend school and work. It means so much to me to say that.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations to all the other ones that received the certificate of election without having an opponent. But as we move forward, we know that we got the right person and the persons in place to lead our city. And so to my constituents, and I'm not making a campaign speech or anything, but I just want to say it takes people like what have already been approved as a certificate of election to care about our city and to put forth the work that it takes to grow our city. And so congratulations to those, and the school board members, I know that I hope and pray that you will continue to know that our children come first in all that we do. And I know you'll continue to do great things. There's a couple on there I know that will have been re-elected, and I know that they'll continue to be great for our school system. So with that being said, I just want to say congratulations to all.
Thank you. Huh?
I'll say this, Mayor, I listen to what have been said already, I concur with what has been said already, Mr. Beard County. That's what we're going to take, and as has been said in the prayer this morning, it takes love and caring for people, for us to come together. And I often say this when I have the opportunity, regardless of where I go, I always say this, that Jesus said the devil called us to follow, and he was all about love. I say this in Sunday school, I say one of the greatest men who walked on the earth, but he was all about love. And that's the example that we must follow. And we realize that, I say this in Sunday school, we know the flesh is weak, but we got to pray all the time. I'm not going to say anything else now, but I do want to add this a little bit. But Bob, being married on 7th Street, around that curve right there, we have so much trash around it. It really bothers me. Like it's done enough right around that curve on 7th Street. I like to say to the citizens of Phenix City, throughout this whole city, I said this the last time, this is your city. Let us try to keep it clean. Let us not throw trash outside these windows. Come down with kids. Let us keep our city clean. And Mayor, my hat's off to you. I had the opportunity to attend the Mayor Charity Ball as well. And I said to some folks, I had some folks from Atlanta, I said to them, she's cool. I mean, they said, who's ready? Mayor. I said, nobody. You're doing such a great job. Such a great job. And I often say that. I say, you're dying to raise man. I always say that. That's the mayor. And let me say this, and I'll be quiet. I said this yesterday about Mr. Hunt. As I look at all these dollar fees and all these different projects, I asked Mr. Hunt, I said, where is this money coming from? He said, out of the general trade and stuff like that. And then I said, take tremendous planning to do that and conserve it. And he's done a great job on it. My hat's off to him. So that's all I have to say, Mayor. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Hunt?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Like I say, congratulations to everybody that's done something to help this city. I'll say this, we put some focus, a lot of focus on our utility department this morning because it needs that. And that's where a lot of complaints are coming from. You know, we even
we have people get confused sometimes. We had, this past week, I'm saying this on here, we, Mayor, we had a threat on my life this week. And I don't take that lightly. And, people get confused and they get mad about a lot of things. And, we had to have police officers over in our lobby, and that interferes with the workers and it makes them frightened. And these are public buildings. I'm saying all this to say this. When you're in public buildings, it belongs to the citizens. But at the same time, there's provisions gonna have to put in place more restrictive to make our personnel feel safer. Because when you have people, what's happened lately, and I guess I would prefer it that way because I don't want any of our workers to get hurt. What happened lately throughout the nation is people come to your house to get you, and that threat was made too. And, it's just certain things you have to do to protect yourself and your family that you don't want to be involved in. You want things to be more happy. We had an incident that occurred yesterday, so it's getting kind of tough with people. Police officers up on the 3rd floor, and we had more or less removed somebody yesterday. It's getting too close for conflict at times. But at the same time, now in public buildings, it's going to take a lot more security. Now we have this wave of events that's going on. This morning I looked and I seen firefighters, and that was my profession for a long time. And it was sad to see. It was very sad to see that. Also, how to say anywhere, and trying to do a job, the type job that you actually, that you ask God for, things that you want to serve. I've always wanted to serve, since the age of 6 years old. So I've been fortunate to do a lot as a person of what I've asked my parents to allow me to do and what God made available for me to do, because that's my belief. Everybody can believe in what they believe in. But as far as this city and the teams that we've been able to build over the years, like Mr. Graham and Steve Bell, they say a lot of the time, and like I say, they've been around to see a lot of stuff that was directly involved with the city. And with the additional, I've been fortunate during my career because even as city manager, I've been able to continuously be blessed through God to add people to the team that was good for the team. That's been good. A lot of people that's come in, I love workaholics. So when you get workaholics that's very smart to add to help this city throughout, and we have a tremendous amount of work. We have a blessing. We have a combination of a city that's not only achieving things, but we're growing. We're continuously growing. Our infrastructure is growing. New things being put on top of other things, and sometimes you have to watch it though. And you're so focused. We have some departments struggling, and some departments that's trying to bounce back because we have a wave of people. The work field, the work world is not what it was a while back. And trying to simplify things that's really complex. And you have this city. I'm still going to say this. This city operates off of very few backs. A lot of people carry a lot more emotion than other people, and that's in not just working, that's in caring about things, that's in having their families indoctrinated inside of their profession, that they know this is what their parent, and when you're married, that spouse, you got to understand what you stand for. Boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, no matter what, you got to understand when you're dedicating yourself to something, when you live a full career like I have here, and you look into the future, the vision. When we talk about this today, when we look at things, when we look at those things, you got to look far beyond what it's going to do for the city. Not just immediately, but what it's going to carry through for other people. During my career, I've had persons say I care too much and worry too much, and people have to fend for themselves. Yeah, but I'm not that kind of person. I want to see people do better and achieve more from the day that I leave here going forward. You know, because I had people that cared for me. You know, I was once young, when I came here, I was a young man. And I wasn't, you know, wasn't married or anything. And, you know, and for those of you all who know Chief Jerry Prater, the things that I do now, I was able to go to council meetings and learn through someone. And I was brand new in the fire service. You know, that's the first year they was going to combine cross-training the police department and fire. I seen Mark Anthony not too long ago, we talked about that. But what he did for me was this. I'll never forget, and I'll be finished in a minute. In my career, I was young, yeah, I had good hair on my head, and the whole works back then. You know, I was still a good athlete and the whole works. So he had gotten together with his class, and I said, and he told me, said, what you doing tomorrow? I said, well, Chief, I said, when I get off, you know, I'm going on, I still work for Kmart, I always work 2 jobs. I said, I'm going to my job, I'm going to get off, you know, play a little ball, and then I'm going to have a good time, you know, I got a nice date waiting on, you know. You know, things going to be just great and wonderful, going dancing and the whole works. He said, well, I don't know what kind of music they play in Rome, Georgia, but we got a gas class that's going to be going on up there. And that's where you're going to be dancing at. Come tomorrow, I said, Chief, I'm off. He said, no. He said, you was off. He said, we're going up there and we're saying 2 days. And that's where, and that man, I can say, drugged me around until the day he left here. And I'll say this on this TV. I have access to this property until to the day. That's been a long time ago. And that's what I say about people that try to put you in positions to understand what you're doing and how you care. And it's tough when you change the culture. It's tough around here, but they're doing the utilities and things they have to do and what's been done here before. Like I say, in public works, whether it's fire department, we've been through it. And it takes a lot. But right now, what I was trying to tell people, when you have something, that, a weak link, you have to gather together to make sure that it's done well, it's done right, and people participate in it to help one another. And that's what we got to do in our city right now, because a lot of things are taking care of itself. Now, we don't have some of the same problem with our stormwater system. It's aging, and as people build on top of it, it's falling under certain pressures too. But right now, everybody should gather together and support and try to help our utilities department come up to the level where we want it, because it takes a lot. It takes a whole lot, and support the people that's there working with them to get us where we can have, so our city can be a fine operating city. You know, even, like I say, I've been through some rough times, and I will say this. One thing Sonny Coates said, and they say a lot of things, he was mayor 4 times. He was here for a long time, and people forgot he was a council person also before then in '86, under Miss Jane Gillette. And I tell you, and I know all of these people. I know them verbatim. I thank God for my memory. I thank God for my preciseness and understanding and believing and being thankful. But one thing he said years ago, and that man could come down on me. Now, he could come down on you one way or another. He just come out of the blue. But at the same time, he was a politician, a true politician. He had to acknowledge it one time. He said, well, all the things I've done and put my foot on your neck sometime, he said, you're running a smooth operating machine. That's all I ever wanted to get from a person. And he said that in front of some people. That's what we are always fighting for and striving for, to make sure we have a smooth transition day to day to make it through this. When y'all was a lot of people at the mayor's department tonight, John was there, I dressed up his department. We had 2 major breaks in this city. We had workers that was out all night, you know, going to different places with them. And I was out there with them. So, this is 24/7. This is no other time. There's nobody, when you sit in this seat, that you can point the finger to and say, it's on them. The responsibility and accountability is in that city manager's office. So it's not always saying kumbaya to people to get things to be be well addressed. But I can say this, and I give this council credit, you know, I've had made a lot with councils that didn't just play with politics with the city. You all have done an outstanding job in helping us be able to do the jobs we're supposed to do professionally. If it was any other kind of way, we wouldn't be as successful as we are. We'd be nowhere without that understanding, you know. And I want to thank everybody for that.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. I do just want to say this real quick and wrap it up. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about people. At the end of the day, it's about people, how you build people up. And as leaders of this community, we have to have a sacrificial spirit, a sacrificial leadership spirit, which is thinking about people more than we do ourselves. And as Mr. Davis said, and Mr. Hunter talked about it, there's so much evil things out there. People are just going and offer things. But what I want to challenge all of us, even the people that are watching, let's learn how not to be. We don't want to be that way. We want to be a special, significant community, a special, significant people in this community that give and lift people up and not harm people and show love. Because at the end of the day, it's all about people. And if we're not putting people first, we're not worthy to hold any title of any position, because it's about people. Thank you all so much, Department Head. Thank you, Councilman Shannon. We appreciate you, West Tanya and Zena and all of them for keeping me straight. And I thank this council for keeping me accountable, because if we're not held accountable, we're getting worse. So I thank you all so much. We care about you. We love you all. We love this community. We love the people in this community. And so let's always remember that it's about people. We do want to thank CTV Bean for bringing this. And thank you all so much. And at this time, we do stand adjourned. Thank you.